Alright, we're starting off in the unexplored northern region of South Korea where a group of people are gathered. Among them is a guy in regular modern clothes looking a bit out of place with all the robes. Another fellow hands him 2 cups of something. He gratefully accepts, saying thank you. But looks like they're in the kind of place where monsters show up, so stay safe. After being handed 2 drinks by his robed companion, the modernly dressed man wonders if he comes from the Esteemed Martial Lee Clan. Lee Cheol is standing outside with his sword. Turns out, he was so weak he was banished from the clan. Lee Cheol clutches on the handle of his sword. "It's time to get moving again," says the expedition team leader. We see a man with a beard and a sad face. Yep, still sad. Looks like he's trying to be sneaky about it though. A young boy gazes up at a portrait of a man in traditional robes. A glowing sword emits a powerful aura. Lee Cheol holds the sword and smiles mischievously. A doctor points to an X-ray, remarking, "Look over here. I've never seen manipaths like this before." Someone off-panel says that they are not suited for learning magic, and martial arts will lack stability if one tries practicing any. Someone says that for young Master Lee Cheol, reaching the 9th rank would be nothing short of a miracle. A suited man with gray hair stands in an office. An unnamed character stares out a window with the sunlight behind him. Once everyone learned about his condition. Lee Cheol is cheered on by a maid and another man. "If it were not for my oldest brother, I might have left the household as a 10 years have passed since he's been on the run." A period of chaos descended upon them, creating a need for warmth around a fire. Scattered newspapers litter the ground. A mysterious, cloaked figure appears in front of the character. A hand slams down on a document labeled, "Explored Region Expansion Solution." Finally, a close-up reveals the character's intense gaze. Close-up on a man's golden eyes and face partially covered by a scarf. A hand points to a newspaper announcing, "Lord St. Lee Tae-shin passes away," surrounded by people at a funeral. Young Master Lee Cheol is spotted alongside the Shadow Sword Squad. Lee Cheol asks, "How did you find me?" Someone offers Lee Cheol an official decree. Lee Cheol scoffs, assuming his question is being ignored. After getting beat up, Lee Cheol is walking away when someone tells him to wait. Someone off-screen asks what happened to the oldest. The guy with the decree realizes that they're not answering him again, and wonders why he's being ordered to investigate the unexplored region. He recalls being told that sword intent trait artisan artist or whatever can also use it too. Someone asks our boy if he refuses to carry out his orders. The dude thinks to himself that this cursed destiny will never let him go, he has to kill it. He is given a mission description and told, "Patriarch Lee, if you die, everyone becomes the patriarch," then asks what about the children. We see a man getting ready to possibly grab his sword, followed by the text, "Doing so without good reason means death." But he tells himself, "No, I'll do it." He kneels on the ground, his body illuminated by the blaze in front of him. As he clenches the document in his hand, he is visibly upset, saying, "Fuck." A mysterious voice emanates near an old structure. 2 figures stand amidst the mist surrounding the building. Several armed men emerge from the structure. A massive creature appears in the sky, shocking Lee Cheol and the others. The masked assassin's eye is seen peering out, as a battle begins. Lee Cheol gets stabbed through his neck. Other clan members arrive and see Lee Cheol being attacked, questioning what is happening. The assassin looks back, holding a sword and wearing a mask. Someone gets stabbed in the neck. Who is this dude? It's a man in a black cloak holding a bloody sword. And the sword shatters. "And to kill you as cleanly as I can." The masked assailant notices that his wound is closing. A sword shatters after the assassin attacks Cheol. The assassin is surprised that Cheol is stronger than they thought. Cheol, bleeding from the mouth, is told that half of his blood still belongs to the Esteemed Martial Lee Clan. Looks like someone just got skewered with a giant, glowing shard. Ouch, that couldn't have felt good. Blood gushing? Definitely not a good sign. Alright, things are looking grim. He's thinking he can't die like this. He spots something. It's a weapon nearby. He urges himself towards taking the weapon to somehow help him. A hand covered in blood strains to grip something. The bloody man's eyes are wide with shock, his face covered in blood. The man grasps a sword that exudes black smoke. The man, covered in blood, is seen holding a shadowy sword, standing before another figure. Next, we see the bloody man from behind as he faces off against a hooded figure. He promises to send the person off like a Lee at least. The bloody man, now filled with despair, thinks it's cruel as he stands wounded and with the smoky sword in hand, and then falls to the ground as he accepts his fate. Things are moving quickly, lots of flashes and speed lines here. And within the chaos, there are some voices. Is this Yujung's child? The voice wonders if they are hearing their father. We see an older gentleman, Lee Cheol, wondering what happened to Yujung. The men think he looks really young, even butler Choi appears youthful. The perspective shifts to the baby's hands as one of the men calls out, "A baby's hands." A close-up on the baby's hands in a fist. The baby is shocked, realizing, "These are my hands." A few days later, we see rippling ocean water. The day of the second trial of the Esteemed Martial Lee Clan naming ceremony has arrived. It's the Red and Blue Island. It is an island where the land's color changes depending on the amount of mana in the atmosphere, serving as the site for this clan's naming ceremony since ancient times. Someone says they will now explain what they need to know about the naming. We see a shot of two people dressed in matching tracksuits looking up. A hand presents two bracelets and some coins on a small table covered in snow. Okay, so we got a flashback of a male and female character in matching white and yellow tracksuits on a beach. The female character seems to have something to say as she looks up at the male character. Next, the two characters stand ready with backpacks at their feet. She asks, "Huh?" Cheol asks how Yujung knew that he'd been trying to say something to her since they were little. Yujung wonders how she could not realize it. Yujung looks down holding a medal. Yujung gets asked what's up. She shows Cheol a pill bottle. And that's all, folks. Flashback to a close-up of a person with dark hair. Looks like it's a young Cheol. Yujung is there on the beach, with a vial, and she says that if the stuff inside's exposed to air for more than 5 minutes, it'll evaporate. Also, don't give it to children under 18. She's holding the vial in her hand. The vial is opened. There's no evidence anymore, says the woman. The woman places her hand on her chest with a serious expression. Good, says Yujung. Cheol says he was going to try his best anyway. Yujung asks if Cheol is fully equipped. Yujung tells Cheol to make sure to challenge the center of the island after adapting to the environment, and that the island's pretty dangerous. Yujung yells out as something goes wrong, seems like they're being targeted already, and expresses that she was worried about this. Yujung and Cheol stand in the dark, surrounded by tall trees. Yujung looks surprised. Yujung and Cheol bump their hands together, preparing to take on whatever comes next. Cheol, energized, declares, "To the center of this island." As if on cue, Yujung jumps into action wielding what looks like a staff, ready to battle some unseen foe. The number of animals she has defeated is being monitored. Someone remarks that it's only expected she's doing so well, considering who awakened her. An older man with white hair and a long beard is sitting in a room full of people. Someone is standing in the background. It was She had quite a decent talent, but that was it. However, someone provoked her to improve much faster. The ninth, Lee Cheol. His hideout. Someone thinks Cheol chose to run away like a rat, calling him a coward, but someone retorts that Cheol is the offspring of the esteemed Martial Lee Clan. A couple of men observe that trying to find a hideout in a dangerous environment should be considered strategic. The men continue their discussion, adding our expectations have been set high due to the eighth's performance. A voice says being normal in the esteemed Martial Lee Clan is a sin. The audience sits and watches. The old white-haired man asks, "Isn't that right?" Someone is told that he or she is a person from the esteemed. Lee Cheol reflects, he wonders since when did the clan fall this low, thinking it's because someone is mocking a child because of an unknown bloodline and where they came from. Lee Cheol thinks or perhaps it's always been like this. Lee Cheol sits in a red chair contemplating, what is Cheol thinking, heading to the center of the island. Lee Cheol wonders. They wonder what Lee Cheol is up to. Someone else seems to be wondering what he's planning. Lee Cheol thinks the location he's selected is suitable. Cheol starts a controlled burn with herbs and blocks the entrance with foliage. The Lee clan watches on. One of the observing Lee clan can't believe what he is seeing. Everything blurs into streaks. Lee Cheol seems to trip and fall. Underneath the leaf, a tiny boy emerges, saying, "Wait, that little." Meanwhile, back at base, a team monitors heat signatures on screens. One of the men at base is being very extra, twirling his hair and saying, "Ha ha ha." Unpredictable as always. Lee Cheol peeks from beneath a leaf. Speed lines show many different landscapes going by quickly. Lee Cheol says that there is no reason to show them. Lee Cheol smiles, as blue fire gathers in his hand. Lee Cheol says that he might as well salvage as much as he possibly can. He's holding a dagger in his hand that also has blue fire on it. Lee Cheol says alright, it's time to go. Lee Cheol is shocked at something. A blue liquid with a face on it sits in a pot. Lee Cheol asks if he really has to do this. Lee Cheol thinks that nobody in their right mind would think this is a tea made from mana herbs. Lee Cheol thinks, good thing I've been following the druggist around. The woman tells Lee Cheol that there is an abundant amount of mana on the red and blue island, so make sure to come back after you increase your total mana through the mana arts. Lee Cheol sighs, then prepares to drink the tea. It's Lee Myong-jung's office. Lee Myong-jung is at his desk, looking at some documents. He says, "Ah, yes." Then, someone approaches him from behind, and Lee Myong-jung says, "It's fine, it's fine." We see that it's Yu Zhangyan, Lee Myong-jung's direct affiliate martial artist squad Azure Sword Squad's vice leader. Yu Zhangyan says they're heading directly south towards the Lee clan's mana stone mines. A gentleman is speaking about vagabonds that usually go through unexplored regions while committing all kinds of crime. Another gentleman is also speaking while moving his hand. Someone is reading documents. It is said that Zhongyuan is the giant organization that the Nine Dragons established. Lee Myong-jung is in his office thinking whether the intelligence branch knows of the organization. Lee Myong-jung closes the document he was reading. He thinks that there is more to it. He looks out of the window, hoping it's just bad feelings. Outside, at night, there's a magic circle. A magic circle emits a bright light. A dark object pierces through the air. The dark-haired man closes his eyes and is surrounded by a golden magical effect. 2 wishes should be enough to kill one illegitimate child, the man thinks to himself in front of a full moon. The sky is clear and blue after the dark magic fades. We see a beautiful tropical area with rocky cliffs in the background. A giant beast emerges from the underbrush, creating a rustling sound. This is no ordinary beast, it is none other than the monster dragon Draco. Huffing, the guy from the boat has his sword ready. Steam comes from the dragon's face as it prepares for an attack. Draco unleashes a ferocious, bright beam. And with that, boom! The energy explodes. Our boy is ready to strike with his weapon. Hup! He dashes forward with incredible speed. And comes down upon his foe with a radiant strike. Someone is yelling as lightning strikes down. It seems that a demon's being summoned. A huge dragon head is the one being summoned right now. The ring on his finger glows. The young boy is surprised that the folks here are definitely on a different level. He remembers if he fought it when he first arrived, he would have been knocked out immediately. He mentions managing to reach Shadow Moon territory in 14 days after leaving Red and Blue Island, but staying here any longer would be a waste of time. The boy shares that there's another reason he came all the way here. We see shot of him standing on the ground. The boy wonders if he's being followed, asking, again? As Lee Cheol walks through the forest, he thinks to himself. Suddenly, lizard men emerge, croaking. Lee Cheol is being tailed by the lizard men, who have apparently been more frequent lately. Lee Cheol stops in his tracks as he realizes he's being followed again. If that's the case. KRGH? This ugly lizard man looks surprised to see Lee Cheol. The lizard man yells a battle cry, KIRGH. Lee Cheol says to himself, I knew it. Lee Cheol's sword slices through the head of the lizard man, and he thinks it may not be a coincidence now that this has happened twice in a row. After watching the lizard man he just took care of, our guy says to himself that he better follow them. Confront, marshal, fight. All people array. The narrator notes that those of the esteemed Martial Lee Clan's bloodline are peculiar. Someone watches Lee Cheol from a distance, wondering how such a young boy could have taken out so many monsters alone. They consider that he may just be a little kid at the end of the day. Looks like we're resorting to Plan B, says Nishiyama Shugo with a smile. Nishiyama Shugo continues holding the orb. An observer notes Lee Cheol has the ability to control mana, like a trainer. He contemplates how an outsider could possibly get in here, though. Someone watches Lee Cheol, who is thinking about something. It would be impossible, or so he thought. Then Lee Cheol notices a teleportation spell circle, which suggests the handiwork of a Lee clan member. He smirks, realizing what this means, Lee Cheol wonders to himself if he should notify the household and wait for reinforcements. But he quickly dismisses the idea, fearing they'd be too late and he wouldn't be able to find out who's behind all this. Looks like he's using stealth arts. Lee Cheol uses his stealth arts to hide his presence. Lee Cheol makes his way deeper into the forest. Lee Cheol is determined to make it himself. Lee Cheol realizes he has no time for that now, and that he didn't need to go through another gate anyway. At least only one option. Lee Cheol is ready to take him down himself. We see a display of power from Lee Cheol. Dude is freaked out and yelling. The man curses, realizing Lee Cheol has a danger detection artifact. Lee Cheol unleashes an attack. The other party responds, acknowledging that Lee Cheol is better than anticipated. Lee Cheol retorts that perhaps it's the other party who's weak. The opponent yells to attack Lee Cheol. Lee Cheol is preparing the 7-star sword third form. Lee Cheol stands with his sword, ready to fight. Tight grip. Lee Cheol prepares himself for the incoming attacks. Lee Cheol is bound by chains, unable to move. Someone is watching Lee Cheol. They claim that their Hiram is so advanced that it can block the mana circles off mental people. You are nothing but a powerless kid without mana. The enemy says he will meet his pathetic fate and die as he is unable to do anything. Then, Lee Cheol is held in place by chains that burn red. An enemy watches him being chained up. Another person approaches, ready to attack. Above, an enemy drops from the sky to strike Lee Cheol. Someone on the ground is also ready to attack Lee Cheol, who is currently restrained. A boy in a jacket smirks, holding a wooden sword. The enemy asks Lee Cheol how he broke free, but of course, he's not gonna tell him. The one who spoke curls his lips into a malicious smile. Someone declares they'll eliminate Lee Cheol to regain their freedom. Lee Cheol seems to notice something. Something collapses on him. A bright light appears. Lee Cheol takes a devastating hit and blood goes flying. He lays on the ground, coughing, wondering what could it be. He looks off to the side, looking a bit shocked. Turns out, it's a spirit tree. The man comments that being called a monster is pretty much a compliment. The guy with the staff says Lee Cheol is quite a catch and that he doesn't plan on handing him over yet. The man smiles while holding a gold and white staff. Gold paper flies around Lee Cheol as if it is protecting him. Our guy thinks to himself that he needs to calm down because he doesn't have perfect control yet and focus on catching the trainer instead. He thinks the only way to go against the Turtle Head Mountain is with the seed that he never expected to use. Lee Cheol takes out the banned medicine and notes that it was banned because of the stacking intense side effects. Lee Cheol takes the mana booster. Lee Cheol thinks to himself that he needs just one more thing. The reflections on the water look real nice. Lee Cheol thinks to himself that now is the time. Lee Cheol then uses the heaven-defying technique. The earth explodes with mana. Oh, something's coming. Lee Cheol unleashes a devastating attack, declaring he'll take his opponent down with him. The attack is so powerful, it's accompanied by an explosion of blue mana. Turtle Head Mountain is shocked, realizing he's outmatched as the mana surges. The main character realizes he can't move because of the amount of mana. The character's back is shown, the dark energy is very visible. The main character's dark energy resisted the fear. The character is jumping at the enemy. Lee Cheol rushes forward, a blue aura surrounding him, ready to strike. It's boundless first technique time, as Lee Cheol gets ready to beat his opponent. Lee Cheol uses the split demon technique. The attack makes contact with Turtle Head Mountain. The scene is bursting with blue mana energy. Lee Cheol has blood on his hand. Lee Cheol is in rough shape, on his knees struggling to move due to the side effects of the mana booster and heaven-defying technique. With only 10 seconds, Lee Cheol knows he needs to find the trainer. The wind suddenly picks up. Lee Cheol is wounded and thinks to himself that he sees a thread. That thread leads through the forest as the timer counts down to 3 seconds. The thread pulls Lee Cheol towards someone. Lee Cheol is yelling, wondering what is going on. Someone yells, "One." Someone is screaming and using their power. An attack happens with a flash of light and someone yells out, "Blee." Someone is defeated and lying on the ground bleeding while Lee Cheol nervously sits nearby. Lee Cheol drinks something, remembering his Aunt Jayonga telling him to drink it if he ever used the technique. Lee Cheol thinks he needs to take care of the guy. Cheol is on his knees with blood all over his jacket next to a body and a bloody sword. While holding a cup to his lips, he recalls his Aunt Jayonga advising him to drink it whenever he used that technique. Cheol knows he has to hurry with what he needs to do. Black smoke emanates from Lee Cheol as he lies there. Lee Cheol is shocked with wide eyes. Text says, "So it has come to this." The narration says that individually, those things are too dangerous to be consumed by humans, yet both of them are in this one human. Someone says they were hoping he wouldn't wake up, but now we see some blurry visions. After getting poisoned, Cheol kneels near a dark purple beehive and wonders what's happening. A voice tells him to feed it. The voice warns him that he is not meant to eat it. In fact, it will eat him. It's supposedly the purple glow stone of clarity. That does sound pretty. More voices whisper about a new era and for him to become stronger so that he won't get devoured by time. A young girl suddenly appears and sees Cheol. The scene shifts, showing a boy lying down, thinking, "I'm older than you." Then, a blue glow emanates from the boy as he thinks, "I'll do it. I'll do the things that will help. So, nothing will end in vain." The camera zooms in on his face as he asks himself, "Did I really take the purple glow stone of clarity?" Meanwhile, the girl stares down at him. She thinks, "A few of my mana paths are broken, my intestines are twisted, and every bone is fractured. Some bones are broken down too. Not bad." A flashbacky montage occurs. The youngest asks Cheol what he's doing here. Eldest brother is also out here. Eldest brother asks if MC is alright and that he should treat his mana first with the potions he brought. Eldest brother makes MC drink the potion. A pair of feet stand in front of eldest brother and Cheol. Eldest brother says that Cheol did something that every martial artist should try to emulate. The youngest brother is smiling. Eldest brother looks at the youngest brother with a serious face. The youngest brother says, eldest brother, and continues by saying that since he took care of the trainer, he should have the rights to his information. The man is seen in the forest and he seems a bit concerned. Someone is seen in flashy panels defeating a person. The man's one eye is golden and he has a surprised expression. He is seen calmly observing the area. They think the goal was to damage his reputation. The man looks like he feels awful. Someone is smiling, trying to look normal. Someone is getting their head patted. The guy is smiling and holding his hand. He holds Cheol's hand with both of his. Dude's like, "Why don't we do this?" His companion replies, "Then it'll make it seem like he prepared for something even the intelligence branch could not catch." He continues, saying that, "But it would be better for you if you tell all the truth. If I do, then people will be more wary and see me as competition." The companion responds that he sees. Lee Cheol looks happy as he speaks to someone off-panel. Lee Cheol says thanks, as a man calls him an arrogant little kid, and shakes his hand. The man pats Lee Cheol on the head. The man calmly pulls a phone out of his jacket. The man pulls a knife out, giving a little smirk. Lee Cheol stabs the man with a knife. Apparently Lee Cheol will keep a secret. Lee Cheol thinks someone sure is clever. Someone says that the conversation must have gone well, it seems it did. A girl stands looking at Lee Cheol with a neutral expression. The girl asks which he thinks, and she says definitely the most difficult. The boy looks shook. The girl grins at him, holding up the token. A close-up on the girl's determined golden eyes. The girl says the conversation went really well and the boy behind her states he thought he was better than the other. No, better than even her. A girl talks about the location of the hall. She mentions that the test relies on the hall's location. Our boy says he doesn't care. The camera pans to a forest with some magical-looking shrubbery. He doesn't remember it too well but it feels familiar. He recalls that there was a cave hidden here for the second assignment of naming ceremony, known as the Hall of Fighting. A flaming torch erupts with heat, illuminating the space around it. Holding the torch now, the boy remarks, "It may look like a regular wall at first glance." He holds the torch higher in the dark cave. The guy's hands grip a sword, ready to strike, but the sword breaks as blue energy explodes outwards. We pick back up with Cheol in what looks like some kind of underground area. Looks like he has found his destination, and says, "I found it." Oh. Seems like in order to activate something he's gotta give a blood offering. Snicked goes the blade. Afterwards, a blue glowy light emanates from Cheol's ring, which in turn causes a surge of light to blast from the metal door. We're flying through the air with style and grace. Cheol suddenly appears at a brightly lit door. The door opens and we see Cheol inside the room. Cheol thinks he is accepting the challenge as he drops blood into a hole. Cheol thinks that this must be right. Now glowing with a blue aura, Cheol says he will win in a battle against himself, saying he has unlimited tries, but even if he chooses to give up he won't quit until he succeeds. Cheol faces himself. Lee Cheol is choking with a shocked expression. Lee Cheol is still holding his throat. Lee Cheol thinks most ordinary people would go insane if they experienced what he is experiencing. Lee Cheol notices he is capable of doing what he just did. Lee Cheol thinks that the Hall of Fighting is able to bring out 100% of his current potential. He says that the illusion is able to take advantage of skills that even he can't use yet, and that if that's the case, he should have been able to block that strike. He wants more time. Lee Cheol with intense eyes wields the sword. He gets stabbed right in the gut, then gets choked to death again, remarking that this was his 10th attempt, and he is dead again. Lee Cheol's head flies, and he realizes that this is his 13th death. Flashing lights and swirling energy surround Lee Cheol as he fights someone. Lee Cheol attacks with his sword. He thinks this might be his 80th try. Lee Cheol realizes he's finally got it and that he's come to learn everything about himself. Everything is flashing as the battle continues. He states that his greatest strengths are his flexibility and his ability to overcome irregularities as he holds a shining light. The hand from above is holding the shining sword, while the main character holds the sword down below, stating that he had the freedom to defy expectations. Alright, kicking things off, we see some fast-paced action with someone flying through the air, clashing with another dude. Then there's a clash of swords and talk about fighting more, whatever that means. We've got someone diving down with some special effects crackling off their spear. Someone lands hard, cracking the ground, with that spear thing. A close-up shows someone with a blade ready and glowing. Looks like someone's about to be cut open. The dude with the katana is right behind them. The sword comes slashing down towards Lee Cheol and it makes a distinct sound. Lee Cheol thinks that one of the 7 emotions is stupidity. As Lee Cheol deflects the sword, the swordsman says that Lee Cheol let his guard down on purpose. The swordsman jumps up as rocks and debris are thrown up around him. Speed lines streak the ground. The boy is surrounded by blue aura. The boy wonders what he will get this time. His eyes turn yellow. The boy says to himself that this ability is. The group stands before a towering, aged gate, the air thick with an ominous, humming energy. A close-up on someone's face shows their mouth hanging open, perhaps indicating shock or surprise. The same man from before looks concerned, his arms crossed. His eyes widen in disbelief as he exclaims that there's been a change in mana density. The massive gate begins to open, ancient mechanisms creaking as the heavy doors part with a loud rumble. Someone is moving fast. Someone yells. Someone asks if he's okay and tells him to wake up. A close-up of someone's face. The boy has his eyes open. And the blonde dude is relieved. The panel shows a mountain surrounded by birds. Someone shouts, "You fucking bastard." A shot of a building structure. A maid exclaims. Someone affectionately cups a cute kid's cheeks. The nanny wipes away a tear, looking at the child. The child approaches the nanny asking where his aunt is because he thought she would be here first. The child looks curious as the nanny responds with, well. About that. Everything blurs around someone. Lee Cheol asks his nanny where his aunt is while simultaneously thinking to himself that she should have already arrived. He's curious as to what's up. His aunt is happy to see him, saying, "Hee, you're back." She says she's sorry to see him, but is glad that he's fine. Lee Cheol looks baffled. A man is looking at something in the distance. A person is choking, they say that it feels like something is constricting their throat. The man looks on. Lee Cheol is reflecting on memories of others as he wonders if he can trust some girl. Lee Cheol accepts his situation. Lee Cheol tells the person in chains not to push himself too hard. Lee Cheol says that he'll come back soon to see the guy again. An airplane touches down on the runway at night. The people disembark from the plane. A man in a suit greets the group arriving. The man then tells Lee Cheol's aunt that she must have waited a long time for him. Lee Cheol stands with who is presumably his sister.